And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster and I'm touching base with you as I always do every day. Yes, you're probably saying, where is this headset? My headset not working. My plugs are not working on my computer. Don't know exactly what happened this morning, but that means we're going to have a great time together. I always say, my dad used to say when we were in church growing up, when the devil starts to play, that means someone's about to get blessed. Someone's about to get blessed. Chris, did I give you I thought I sent you the link. Okay, I sent you the link on Instagram. Okay, let me send you, let's see here. Let me send Chris the link. Invite Chris. I thought I sent that to you on Instagram. Okay. He's probably, there we go. I see Chris is in the audience. And this will be for later. And Mr. B. Sorry, not Mr. B today. It'll be just Elise and us. Okay, there we go. Okay. I'm gonna, that's sent out. And so good morning, y'all. Sorry, all the technicals this morning, So this morning, we have a special guest, Mr. Butch Quick. And so we're going to dive into his work, his photography. And I'm so excited because he's one of the most amazing people I know. And I am so glad that the universe, God, all work together to put our friendship together and connect us. And he is just an amazing brother. And I cannot wait for you to meet him. And then we're going to dive in today after his interview and time together. We're going to dive into politics because Mr. Trump has told, I don't even say Mr. Trump, the orange man wants to kill Liz Cheney, wants to put her in front of a firing squad. Now, I tell you, well, we ain't going to go into politics right now because I have a lot to say. I have a lot to say about politics today. Okay, let me greet some folks. Hey, Chrissy. Chris R is in the building. She says, good morning. Aya is in the building. She says, grand rising. And Ron, Chris R, and everyone at TBD. And then we have for the bronze, Miss Chrissy's Corner. Good morning. And Chris says, good morning to all. Let me bring Chris on now because he is my partner in crime. What's going on, Chris?
Good morning, sir.
We do this together on Fridays.
I see you having some technical difficulties this morning.
Headset's not working. The email wasn't working. I sat there and said, you know what? That means today's going to be a great time.
Okay. I'm ready for it.
That means lots of blessings. Someone's going to be blessed today. That's what I always say. Hannah's in the building. Let me say good morning to Hannah. Jazzy Jazz is in the building. Good morning, beautiful people, she says. And as I take a sip, always
mushroom tea.
Always for Bryson. What's up, Ron? What's up, Chris? What's up, RLP family? What's up, CQ family? Welcome to the first month of November, and Halloween is officially over. And today is All Saints Day. So all the saints in the building say amen. And we have Brian in the building. Brian's in the building. He says, good morning. And that's how my day went. Yeah. Chrissy said, that's how my day went yesterday. Everything was off balance. Yeah, we have these days. And
occasionally.
Yeah, the universe gets a little crazy. And I have to tell you, it's been a little crazy. So also make sure as you are joining in, make sure you are subscribing. You hit the like. Everyone should always hit the like when you're in the building. Hit the like, hit subscribe, and share with your friends and family. So anyway, I'm going to share some photos from Mr. Butch Quick.
First, love his work, by the way.
We're going, his work, right? So I'm going to show his Instagram page as an intro, and then we're going to go into some of his selected photos when he comes on. So let me do that. Let me change this up here. Let me get my screen right. Okay, here we
I
go.
see you fixed your background colors.
I fixed that. Yeah, they changed some things up in the they reformatted some stuff. So I'm still working it. Let's see here. Here we go. Let's share the screen. That's the beauty of being live and just hanging out with friends. So this is the Instagram page of Mr. Butch Quick. Now I met Butch. I don't even know how I met him. I just know I met him online. I know I was following his work. He dropped in his work appeared. Then I just saw his work and just start connecting. He would say some of the things, and I would say hello, and before you know it, we just struck a friendship. And like I
That's
said
how it
on Wednesday,
starts.
yeah, and then like I said on Wednesday, I was at Jacob Javits Center for the B&H what do you call it, photography expo, and as I'm leaving to go, who's coming down this other opposite stairs and gives me the biggest hug? I sat there and said, this man is a hugger, a real hugger, and I'm a hugger, so it was really good to see a real hugger. There's nothing like a brother that can hug, and but a really sweet man and a great guy, awesome person. So let's check out some photos. You're going to love this man's photography. And he also has this amazing ability to walking up to people in the streets of New York and just simply asking them, may I take your photo? And he does it with such skill. And so many people have graced his lens. And I love his work. Let's go on to some more stuff. He just finds random people and he creates a series of them. It's like 3 or 4, maybe 5 shots, and then he's on his merry way. And it's just amazing what he does. And we're gonna find out how he was able to acquire such a skill set. Couples, brothers, families, you name it, he's photographed them. And most of his photos are in black and white. He does a couple of colors, but most of it is black and white. And
I love a black and white photo.
And it just shows his page just shows the cross cultures of New York. He puts himself in New York. He comes to New York. He doesn't live in the city itself. He comes into New York and he just shares people's beauty. Just love it.
You know what I love about his work? Some of them, when you look at it, you can't really tell when it was taken, like what era.
Yes.
Because, people are nostalgic now. They're dressing like in the 60s and 70s. So when you pair that with the black and white imagery, it looks like it could have been taken decades ago.
Yeah. And also, the only way you will be able to tell if there happens to be technology on their heads, or like a headset.
Yeah.
But other than that, you would not know where these are, where, because it's all about the people. It's all about the individual. So anyway, you see why I love this man's photos. You see why I follow this guy diligently. Let's welcome to the stage, Mr. Butch Quick. What's going on, Butch?
Good morning. Good morning. Wow. I feel like there should be, some Brothers Johnson or Graham Central Station jam playing in the background or something. Like, wow.
Good morning, sir.
What's going on, sir? Good morning and welcome to Touchbase Daily.
Pleasure and an honor to be here. And Ron, I've been in love with you and your work and following you. And one of the, on my, this introduction to photography and my journey of learning. And I thank you. And it was truly an amazing and blessed day when we could hug it out. I mean, I went fanboy.
Yes, he was like, this is fam time. This is like my brother.
Oh my God, here comes Jesus up the stairs, and there's Ron and all his awesomeness. And Like, oh my God, I'm good. My day's done. I'm good. I'm out. Ron. I'm out.
So anyway, did you, first of all meet Chris? Chris, meet Butch.
Pleasure.
Yeah,
Pleasure to meet you.
This
Real
is my
pleasure.
Chris is my co-pilot on Fridays. I don't get to do this with success without Chris. So Chris is here, and so we're both going to be just really sharing and talking and talking about your work and you know, and it's just conversation as we always do.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
So tell us, how did you get started in photography?
So I work as a branding and packaging and graphic designer for 45 years plus. And I've hired photographers for jobs my entire career. But it was never a thing I considered for myself. I appreciate it. I love it. There's photographers I admired my entire life. But then the iPhone came out. And it allowed me to more easily capture the reference for projects that I was doing. Colors, textures, patterns, and so on. And going into supermarkets, you know, I carried a camera to capture something and you had to do it on the sly. But now I had this phone. I could just like bip, 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 you know, click. And then, you know, I'm out on the street and I see people, their color palette that they're wearing and the textures they're putting together. I'm like, oh, that's going to be great for this project I'm working on and so on. And then I started seeing the people. And it wasn't so much about what they were wearing or what they were doing, but the energy and the vibe of that person. And I slowly started moving the camera closer in and up on them. And just kind of kept following that path and shooting these people. And it was easy for me to just ask someone if mind if I just get a shot of you. I like the colors of what you're wearing and so on. And I was always doing it here and around New York. And I thought, this is easy because I'm home. This is New York. I know these people. I know this. And I had an opportunity 1 year to go to Cuba. And, my wife and my daughter had a vacation and my wife was like, yeah, we're going to go to Florida. And I'm like, yeah, no. I called a travel agent up here. I live in Connecticut now. I called a travel agent in Westport and said, I want to go to Cuba. And she's like, okay. And did it. And I got to Cuba with just my phone. I think it was a 7+ or 8+. Something like that. And I walked the streets for a week and just bob and weave. I had a guide, Yasser and his cousin Douglas, that picked me up in a 1945 Plymouth.
1945.
Yeah, drove me around for a day.
Yes.
And, I'm looking out the windows and seeing everything. And then the next day I was like, all right, great. I'll see you guys later. They were like, wait, no, you can't do that. You don't speak the language and you've never been here before. I was like, dude, I'm good. And that was it. 6,400 photos.
Wow.
Yeah, 6,400 photos.
Can I say on your smart phone?
Yeah, I had an iPhone. That's it. I had an
This is to encourage people out there that you don't have to get the big gear.
No,
to get great photos and pursue your dream as a photographer.
It's a phenomenal tool. The camera, whatever camera you have, whether you have an iPhone or you have a Canon or you have a Leica, it doesn't matter. It's just a tool. It's what you do with it. I mean,
say that again. Say that again so the audience can hear you.
The camera is just a tool. It does not matter what you have. My first photography show exhibit was about Cuba. I had 42 photos hanging in that show. The largest photo without any manipulation was 6 by 4 feet. That show went for 6 months and sold the hell out of it. But it was that trip from Cuba that I saw what I had. I thought I had good stuff. A friend took an image that I gave him.
Okay, gotta stop you again.
Okay.
I'm sorry to break you up here, but
No.
You're laying down some gems here.
Yeah.
You felt about your own work.
Yes.
You had some good stuff.
I thought I found some good stuff. I was able
to understand. You got to believe in yourself
and
in your work.
Without question. The one of the most important things doing this, especially out on the street and especially how I work, you must have confidence in yourself.
Yes.
That confidence will allow you to make that step up to someone. Because if you approach them with fear, it's like animals out in the jungle. And
they can sense your fear.
Prey and predator.
Yeah.
So if you're confident in yourself, what you do, and when you approach someone, then they're not afraid. They know that you're stepping to them with a purpose.
Yes.
So you must be confident in yourself and what you do, and be ready. Most importantly, you have to be ready. If they say yes, pick the camera up, boom, get that shot, go to work.
That's right.
Everyone is busy. Everyone out on the street, and especially the people that I shoot, they had a purpose to be out on the street that day. They were going somewhere. They had a destination to be. So them giving you those few seconds in their busy day,
yes,
is everything. And that I was able to do that in Cuba as well. I mean, I don't speak Spanish at all, not a lick.
Yeah, but you know, though, you had the universal translator, and that's that camera. When you go like this to people, everyone understands this.
And that's what
everyone
understands. My ass off out there, picking his phone up, pointing at it, and click, and everyone said yes. The language was not a hurdle. I think it's that your general kindness of self that you put out, that energy and confidence, having that I was able to move through the streets of a country I'd never been to. I did not know anybody. I did not know where I was. Well, I don't get lost, but it worked out fine. And I roamed from crack of dawn till dark, just shooting 6,400 photos on an iPhone, printed.
And this is pre-RAW on iPhone, correct?
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, they did not have a RAW feature.
That's right.
Yeah.
At the time, these were JPEGs.
Yeah. So that says a lot about your composition, and then how you're capturing the light on that phone, because you didn't have RAW back then.
No, it was just I shot during the day, sun high in the sky, it was bright. You had to make use of the time, the seconds that you had. I mean, everybody's doing something. You know, I wasn't conscious of doing it, but I wasn't looking to shoot people that were hanging around.
Yeah.
Sitting on a bench, hanging out at at a store or stuff. I did get some of that, but it wasn't what I was specifically looking for to capture that stillness, so to speak.
And here we go.
Love this photo. It's funny you picked this one up. This was one of the first ones I saw, and I was like, I said, I didn't know this was Cuba at first. I said, but this looks like a Cuban photo.
This is a taxi on the Prada, and this was in front of the playhouse that was there. And there's just this ring of these incredibly gorgeous cars, but this was this taxi that was just sitting there. This is straight out of camera. All I think I might have done is play with contrast and highlights, but that's it. I specifically don't want to play with retouching anything on my pictures.
Really?
It's the rawness and the realness that I want to get, and it's important for me. I don't remember where I heard it, But years ago, it's like, get your shot in camera. Get it in camera. The other I'm not thinking about what I'm going to do with it in post, or taking this out, or removing this, or touching up that. I want the shot in camera. That's key. And especially that's an iPhone shot. This woman was sitting outside of her place. You can see the pack of cigarettes tucked in there between her breasts.
Yes.
She was just hanging out. And I mean, the colors are all, that's it. That was the color on the wall and what she was wearing. And the gorgeous blackness of her was just, oh my God. Just so authentic, so real. Everybody said yes. They were happy, to be seen. This guy was pushing a cart filled with these cookies and breads, and walking around in the streets and knocking on the door or gates of the home and offering it up like Avon. He was doing with the breads.
Yes.
Out there. Oh, that's him behind me. That's the shot.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Oh, wow. So, Mike, I have a question, because you have great composition in all your framing is really amazing. How did you learn your framing? How did you learn composition?
I think that comes from the design work.
Ah, just right, because of your design background.
Yeah. The brand packaging and graphic design, I think, is it's not something I think about. It's
intuitive.
It's intuitive.
Yeah.
Your composition is always so beautiful to me.
Thank you. That's my guide, Yasser.
I definitely get rule of thirds in all your photos.
Yes, rule of thirds, leading lines. I mean,
I guess it's not bragging or anything, but it's just I don't think about that at all, actually.
But I love this shot. This shot is so, man, it makes you want to it makes you want to get on a plane and head to Cuba like right now.
I have to say, it was the most, I had a sense of peace and comfort on the streets. No, I'm born and raised in New York. I've lived in every borough. There are places where I have to turn the radar on when I'm in the streets. I'm just aware, None of that was in Cuba. I just walked, and I was in some hood. I was in some spots.
And you have to say your bravery to to go to a place that you've never been before, and you are walking around and just like taking pictures, interacting with people that you've never ever connected with. New country, new neighborhood. There's no connection whatsoever than your love for human beings, your camera, and a new country.
Yeah, it was an incredible experience. The people, the richness of them, the kindness, the just everything. Every day was a beautiful day. I knew when I left that this is what I was going to do.
This is your
call. That was just like, I'm in this. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing this.
Look at this shot.
And I love that you have this as your cover image on your website.
Yes.
It just felt right. I mean, I know the tendency might be to center him, just have him in the center, but this, that air, the texture.
Yes, the texture.
Was just everything around him. I mean, and it's just from him, his hands, the bucket of the oh my God, the name of it just went out. Tamarind? Yeah, that's it. This
tamarind. Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
It
you
was.
Know what I love about it? I mean, this image really just captures a human life.
Yeah.
Like it's just so gritty. Like this man, he's either he's on his way to work or coming back from work. He's had a hard day and he just needs to sit down for a minute before he goes home. I don't know if he's waiting for a taxi or the minibus or whatever, but he's lived a life. And you can see it on his face, on his body, and everything around him screams, this is a life worth living.
A life lived, yes.
Yes. I mean, the kindness, but then there's a sadness in his eyes. I mean, the way that the folds of his brow fall over his eyes like hoods, but there's also a strength, you know, to him. This man has worked. His hands, are just simply gorgeous. But and
you
how
can see the confidence also. Yeah, there's a certain subtleness and confidence in his being.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, Janet made a comment a while back in the feed where she was saying you really can't take a bad picture in Cuba. I think that's kind of poignant and true. And I think part of the reason for that is Cuba is kind of stuck in a time capsule.
Yeah.
You know, as far as the architecture, like, you know, you don't have modern cars on the streets. All the buildings are old and weathered, and it's like it's a moment in time that's always there. And when you know, if you ever have the opportunity to go this like yourself and you see that, like that's what you're going to capture. And then when you add the people in, there's just another layer to it.
You know, for me and so many people, you know, before I was going, was like, oh my God, the cars, you know, you're going to see these people's cars. I give rat's ass about the cars. They didn't mean anything to me.
Mm-hmm.
They were interesting. They were gorgeous design. The lines of them as a designer and creator, I appreciated what they represented. But for it's the people.
Yes.
They are everything. They are the heart and the soul of what's there, and that they maintained or not maintained these structures, and that the realness of them against them, just the beauty of that together was just everything. I mean, this woman, and that's her husband. We went to their home to eat. I ate all my meals in someone's home.
Wow.
When you eat in your homes, the money goes to the people. The money in restaurants and such, that not all of it goes to the people. So here we went to this home after Yasser had taken me to this fort for a tour, and this is great. So we go to the home, we sit down. They say that we have seafood, so it's what's available.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And they mentioned something about some kind of lobster, but it's not a lobster. It's something a little bigger than that. I'm like, all right, I'll have that. And then Yasser said he was going to have this fish, and we're going to have salad, and they give us beers. I don't drink beer, but you know, it's cold. And it was hot out every day. It was hot. And then they left, and for like 45 minutes, we're waiting, and he comes back. They went to catch the fish and catch the lobsters. Then in that building where he's standing, this lean-to, that's the kitchen. So they got the cinder block fire going, cast iron skillets, cutting up plantains, cleaning these lobsters, cleaning the fish. One of the best meals I ever had. It was just amazing. And that's the building, little kitchen outside that they were.
Like I said, every frame, and again, these are shot with your smartphone. I just gotta say it over and over again, because people think they need major equipment to get great photos. And this right here is a true example of taking your skills and elevating it and using your tool.
Yes.
It's
just a tool. I mean, you know, I've seen people shoot crap with a Leica all day long.
Yeah.
You know, and all these
or Nikon or Canon, top of the line.
It doesn't matter. It is only a tool. When I teach design classes, one of the things I've done is I bring in a brush and put that up on the table. This is the actual paintbrush of Pablo Picasso. He's used this brush to create the masterpieces that we know today. Here you go. What are you going to do?
Wow.
It's just a brush. It's just a pencil. It's just a camera. If you don't use your eyes and think about, or unconsciously just fall into this and create, it doesn't mean anything.
Wow.
You know, this is an iPhone shot of a family roasting pigs in the front of their house. The whole family is there. The mother, father, the son, and the daughter's over there in the corner.
Wow.
And they took turns spinning. They had a rhythm. It was like music, man. They just boom, boom.
And
it was beautiful.
Look, I mean, like I said, every shot and now this is back in New York. This is here in New York.
The master, the legend,
the great Louis Mendez.
This is outside of actually this is an iPhone photo as well. I was going I was going into B&H. This was my first time meeting him. I met him for the first time. I'd heard about him forever. And he sits you down and he's got words of wisdom and lessons.
Oh, yeah.
That's his spot.
I explained to him that I'd just come back from Cuba and that I was going to be a photographer now. And he's like, well, how are you making your money? Where are you making your money?
That question all the time. He says, how you making your money?
Yes.
Making your money.
He says, are you printing your stuff? And he made me go inside. I have it. It's right here on my desk right now. He had me go inside and buy a Canon selfie printer.
And for those that don't know, Louis Mendez is a legend, a living legend here in New York City. You will find him in front of B&H.
Yeah.
Right on the corner.
Street, and then you will find him at Grand Central Station.
Yes.
And on the 42nd Street entranceway. Mm-hmm. He's always there by the ticket booth.
Yes.
And he stands in that corner and he has taken pictures of tens of thousands of people over the years. He right now is in his 80s.
He's 80. He's 84 years old right now.
84 years old.
Yeah.
I had the honor this year of getting, he photographed me this year in February. And it just touched my heart that I had a photo of that he photographed of me with his camera. And but every time I see him, he's always at Photoville. He's always at different events that are happening where photographers are located.
Yep.
And he doesn't care who you are or how long you've been doing the business. He will come up to you and say, one, how are you making your money? What's your business? And number two, can I take your picture?
Yeah. I think I have 3 of them.
He's a New York legend.
He is a New York
legend.
But yeah, this picture was just in a show I had a few months ago. I was just telling Ron earlier that it's 20 by 30. Beautiful.
What a great shot of him.
Hammer Mule photo rag paper. And another photographer bought this shot.
Wow.
And then we went on a mission to find him and meet him in person. But yeah, this shot, it won Best in Show, actually. At that exhibit. Yeah, I love it. Oh my God. This is in Harlem, my first photo walk with Brandon Ruff, goes by Rough Draft out of California. Okay. I fell in love with him when I came back and followed his work and style. He came to New York to give a talk and photo walk. And this, again, I went to Harlem with my phone and I almost bailed. I'm like, these people are out here with Sonys and Canons and Leicas, and here's this fool with a phone. What the hell? What am I doing? What's going on? I was like, no. I can hang. I can do this.
You can hold your own.
Yes. And it was there that I learned about my first camera, which I have now. It's a Fuji X Pro 2. And it was through Brandon and conversations and research. Wow. And got it done from that point on.
Butch, I got a question for you.
Yes.
You know, because you use your iPhone, and I'm a big believer in using mobile photography. And you know, I'm about to go on a trip next week, and I'm not bringing any of my big camera gear. I'm only bringing my mobile device. Do you feel that there's a current trend to go back towards the mobile and to kind of step back from using traditional cameras?
You know what? I've actually noticed traditional cameras actually popping up more, especially film, going back to older cameras.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of film cameras.
Yeah. The beauty of traveling with that, with the phone, is it has gotten better. The lenses, the quality, the DPI, and the pixels or such for it. It's easier to move through with it. But I've also noticed that I shoot with both to this day, all the time. The response you'll get from people, you know, everybody has a phone, but then I reach in my bag, I have on my wrist, and they'll see that and they're like, oh, you're for real.
He got his camera on his wrist everywhere.
It's always on my wrist.
You remember the old days when women used to have their purse everywhere? Like you see that?
Yeah, that's me.
That is Butch with his camera. It has a little strap.
Yep.
It's around his wrist.
I don't
maneuvers and he does his thing.
I think if you always have your camera with you, so you always have an opportunity to get the shot. I do not leave my house without my camera. I go buy gas. I've shot people at the gas station.
Yeah.
I've stopped people in the supermarket. We go outside. I've shot them in the aisles. I do not leave home with it. There's always an opportunity. There are always interesting people, and just, you know, my feeling is everybody wants to be seen. To be seen, to be recognized,
to be acknowledged.
Yes. And it doesn't matter where they are. I mean, I have this fabulous picture you just reminded me of that I shot of this woman in Walmart. She looked at me like I was crazy for half a second, but she gave me the shot. I told her what it was about her that I had to please let me take this portrait.
And can I say, I've seen you in action. I've seen you in action several times. First of all, the first time I saw you in action, I was like, holy moly, there's no one that this man will not talk to.
Nope.
So we had our meetup. Big Valerie to check out Gordon Park's work.
Yes.
And we're in Chelsea. And then out of nowhere, he says, wait a minute. Excuse me, Ron, I'll be right back. And so we're all in the gallery, but we're all like in the front area of the gallery. And then he says, excuse me, Ron, I'll be right back. He sees this gentleman who looked like it was a magazine ad. It just his features, the clothes he was wearing, everything was like perfect. The lighting was perfect. It was like 4 o'clock, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And he goes out and literally takes a photo shoot of this man. I mean, within moments, just got to know him, asked him questions. How you doing? Like what you're wearing? Oh man, you look good. May I photograph you? And I was like, man, and he just does it with such ease and skill. And I have to ask the question because Michael Young, who we had on here Wednesday for our show, for those that missed Wednesday's show, you got to check out Wednesday's show with Michael Young, Jamel Shabazz, and Kaz. You know, Kaz.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Kaz. So Mr. Kaz. Yeah, Mr. Kez has been on here as well. You all have this unique ability. And I have to say, I've been taking notes and said, I've been like this. Now, Ron, you got to execute this. You got to execute this. You got to execute, because you guys have such an ability to connect with the public and just random people. But the way you do it is so, it's like, and all of you have it. All four of you have it. And there's some others. If you go to Soho, you'll see a bunch of photographers interacting with the community. But no one does it better than you four. You, the four of you, y'all go right on in. And but I mean, I literally had to see. I seen you and Jamel Shabazz in action many times, and so it is a unique gift. Where did you acquire it, and how did you know that was going to be your staple? I guess you say, like they say, repeat, do this. If it worked the first time, repeat it and do it again.
Yeah.
So,
it's just, well, again, I think it comes from my design world, having to present to a client a concept, a direction that you're convinced is the right way for them to go.
wow.
They come to you needing a new look and feel. They don't know what they want. I have to come up with this thing out of thin air, and now I got to sell it in. I got to convince you that this is the direction to go. Now, you may love it, they may not. They think, yeah, but I don't like the color yellow. Well, do you not like the concept? And if the yellow wasn't there, you would then love it. So we go back and retweak that. And you have to have that confidence.
Yes.
I know what I created is the right direction for you to go. And here's why. Wow. So that same kind of, I think, passion, enthusiasm, plays into how I approach people on the street. I don't really think about it. I bring tools. I printed an expensive but beautiful business card.
Yeah.
I've given it to you. It's square and the texture of it. So the square right away is different. So they notice that. But it's also part of the legitimizing me stopping a total stranger in the middle of the street.
Yeah, you have a card. You have the card. Okay, there we go. The card.
Camera. And again, it's all about being ready. Camera is always on my wrist. It's set. It is ready for that situation. I make sure when I move to a street where the light is bright, I got to fix my ISO, get my shutter speed right, get my f-stop in a place where I just make a tiny tweak here or there. Camera's on my wrist. It's ready. It's out. My phone is set to my page. So when I take it out, this is who I am and what I do. When they say the word, it's done.
You are ready.
Oh, he is ready. And let me tell you, when he walks up to a person, we did lunch together.
We had lunch.
We did lunch in Soho, and we're sitting there at the table, and this guy walks by with this amazing outfit. Like he was like this soft-skinned, beautiful black guy, and he just comes down the street, and Quick was like this. Excuse me. He said, brother, that outfit is amazing. He goes, may I photograph? Can I get a quick picture of you? And then the guy was just like, yeah. Like, and then
he was walking his dogs.
And then he walks him to the spot. Like, not just like, I'm going to take a picture where you are right in the moment. He already has in his head where he wants to take the person. He says, Ron, I'll be right back. And he walks the person down the block, like in front of this amazing like background for what he was wearing. And I was like, this is insane. I mean, he did this, right? It was the guy with the dog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Black guy. Yep. And I think it was a woman you did.
Yes. She's a barber.
Yes.
And it was a spot that was around the corner. But it's just,
I tell you, and he will get up. We'll be eating. I was eating a sandwich, and he said, "Ron," he said, "Excuse me," and Quick is so his manners are so on point. Excuse me, Ron, but I have to go. He just gets up. And excuse me, but it's always I'm intrigued because every person first, and he literally there's like he shows like gives him a card. He shows his phone, his work on the phone, and then they feel at ease. They feel comfortable because he's not a weirdo.
Yeah.
And then they are ready to go. And he takes that camera out. He'll do a couple of shots with the smartphone, and then he'll take pictures with the. I'll be taking notes, brother. I take notes. I be taking notes.
The iPhone makes them comfortable.
Yes.
You got to get them to, because the thing that's most important to me is I'm not, because they'll all say, I don't know what to do, how to stand, and I was like, just relax. Just take a couple shots with the phone. They relax because I want them.
Yes.
Pose. I don't want a tourist shot. I want them. That gets them to breathe and just let it out.
Because it feels familiar to them. They know what that is. That phone, they know what it is. Everyone knows what it is. So the moment you take that phone away, then you go to the other camera, you're absolutely correct. They're relaxed now.
You've given them a transition.
Yep.
You've given them a smooth transition from our reality to the next reality.
Yeah. I mean, you're working with seconds. We don't have all day. They were going someplace. They were doing something.
The iPhone disarms them.
It's so. I mean, listen. I mean, you're saying exactly what I do when I'm on the road with these guys. Like when I'm taking photos after 7, whatever. The first thing I'll do is I'll take a picture with my phone, with the phone, or with the person's phone, and then I say, just 1 second, and I take the photo with my regular camera. But they feel so comfortable because now they're introduced to something that they're familiar with already.
Yeah. Wow. Yes. And that what worked for me, especially in Cuba. Everybody had a phone, no matter how poor or struggling they were.
It's a lifeline.
Wow.
It just gives you that they have to be comfortable.
And that's the whole key. The whole key. I always tell, like I say, when I do my photo shoots with my clients, and especially if I've never met them before, the first time meeting them, we go to I always meet them in Dumbo usually, because there's a little cafe there, a little deli, you could get your breakfast treats or whatever, hang out and just kind of like chat, get some coffee, get some orange juice, sit and talk, and just kind of like get the vibe of who they are.
Yes, feel them.
And then when you do the photo shoot, you are ready to execute.
Yep.
And it's so fast.
Yeah.
Because you spent the quality time before.
You got to just get them in that comfort place. And, one of the other things is with the particular camera that I have, the Fuji, it's a rangefinder style camera. And I've noticed a lot of people are somewhat familiar with, if they are familiar with cameras, they'll think, oh, is that a Leica? No, but I got them. They're involved now.
Now they're connected.
And we can use some of that in the process of getting them to just be. Because that is the most important part of it. Just let them be.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Quick, we could talk to you all day. And I know we went a little longer than we normally would do on a Friday. Fridays is supposed to be just a taste, like a taste of who you are. So you have a photo. You have a show coming.
I have a show coming up. It's
in Connecticut.
It's in Connecticut in Ridgefield. It's at the Meeting House. It's called in Ridgefield on Ridgeberry Road. Myself and another photographer, Andrew Graham, incredible black and white male nudes and sculpture. Stunning how he captures light on them. And just, oh my God, I want to grow up to try to be like him and shoot like that.
Wow.
So that opens on Sunday. And
what's the address so that people can know where it is?
It is 602 Ridgeberry Road in Ridgefield.
Ridgeberry Road.
That's Bury Road, Ridgefield, Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
So guys, so that way, if you're in the area, you're in Connecticut area, you're in the Bronx, you want to ride up to the Connecticut, this is worth going to see. He is Butch has taken time out because he's been hanging photos. Yesterday, was it yesterday? Or
yeah.
Out there doing your, because people don't realize when you do a show, you gotta do the hanging, you gotta line it up, you gotta make sure the sequences are right,
the face is right,
story.
Air around the image, it's got it's not cramped, and it's a beautiful space. The ride up from anywhere that you are is gorgeous. The countryside, the homes, the rolling hills, it's beautiful. You can go apple picking after.
Season.
Yes.
So, Butch, I'm going to let you go, but you are coming back. You are coming back for a full hour or more.
Well, I'm definitely going to be seeing you without question, because I love just hanging with you and just.
We are overdue for another lunch in Soho.
Yes.
And photos, I take it.
Once this show is over, I know you got to dedicate your time to the your show. And I know when we do our shows, we try to be as available as we possibly can. Yes. Because you don't just do a show just to show off your work.
No. You have to talk to people,
your work, and hopefully people will purchase your work.
Yes. So I have the conversation with every person that I photograph, and so there's a story with every picture.
With every picture, there's a story. Yeah. It's called the visual storytelling for a reason. And again, for all of my people that are in the audience that are from my meetup group that meets on the fourth Saturday at 2:00 every Saturday, half the folks come with nothing but their smartphone, and I love these moments. Janet says, how long is the show up for?
It's up till December.
Okay.
It's up through December. Yeah.
Oh, I might have to do. So I'm definitely gonna get the chance to go up.
I'm gonna put up something after this. In the story that shows the details of the signage and stuff like that. But
and I'm gonna.
I love what you were saying about the people showing up with the phones. I did a photo walk in the Seaport and Chinatown, and there were people calling in and asking if they could come with their phone. I'm like, leave that piece of luggage at home. Bring the phone.
Bring the phone. Bring your tool. Come with your tool. Yeah. Come with your tool. Chris, you got any last words for Mr. Butch?
It was a pleasure meeting you. I'm loving the work. I'm going to try to make it up to Connecticut to see the show and support. And I look forward to having conversations and meeting up with you eventually one day.
Yeah. You come out to lunch with Ron and see me leave my food on the table.
The next time Chris is in New York, I will make sure when Chris is in New York, and we'll
get it done.
Because
absolutely.
I mean, I only surround myself with great people.
You do. I love the connections that are being made, being with you and around you, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for those opportunities to meet and be with these other photo legends and just people that just have the same kind of passion and love. So there's always an opportunity to learn, from you and with you. And for that, I am eternally grateful.
Well, thank you, Mr. Quick. And you will be on soon again, because we love these conversations. So thank you so much. We're gonna let you go because I know you gotta do your thing. You gotta get back. You still got work to do at the
I'm going to pick up the promo cards today.
And so we're gonna let you go, and then we're gonna dive into some politics and headlines, and then anyway, man, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ron. You're the best, and I'm blessed for this and you. So thank you so much. And Chris, definitely we got to do this. We'll get
absolutely
a confab.
Yes,
and get it cracking.
Have a great opening.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys have a blessed and fabulous rest of the day and an absolutely amazing weekend.
Thank you, brother. Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon. Peace.
Wasn't that awesome?
That was awesome. I really like his stuff.
And this was something new also to try on a Friday, is like, I know we've been saturated with politics and everything.
Yes, Lord.
This is a great way to, I think, because also Focus Friday is what it is. It's focusing on
and we focused on somebody,
and we're focusing on a person that is actually doing the work. And that's what's so beautiful about Focus Friday. So again, also, if you guys have a photographer that impresses you, introduce them to us. Hey, you know what? I want you to meet Chris. I want you to meet Ron. And so that way we can bring them on a Friday. I mean, Friday, I try to make it like a 40-minute time with our guests. But it's, it's not like a Wednesday where we could dedicate the whole show to that guest.
Yeah.
But this
was good.
But this was really good.
And what I found very intriguing about him is the fact that he really is a phone photographer as well. And like I mentioned, when I go on the trip next week, I'm making a dedicated effort to only use my phone. I'm literally not bringing my camera with me, because in a way, for me, bringing my camera equates having to work.
Yes.
And I'm trying to completely remove myself from that for this vacation. But I know that, Ronald, he wants to do some photography while we're there. And of course, I'm not going to say no to my husband, but I want to be able to do something a little bit different and just kind of go back to the roots of like just using the phone. Because like, let me tell you something. This little thing is so powerful.
So powerful.
I don't know if anyone saw my stories this morning. On my morning walk that I did, I posted a photo of the little beach area that we have along the trail of a sunrise. That was shot with this phone, iPhone 16 Plus Max. I shot it in RAW. I edited in Lightroom, and I did it while I was walking.
There you go.
Edited, and posted it while I was walking. All right. I didn't have to do any big setup and come home and download the footage. I shot in RAW. I edited it on the phone to make it look like the mood that I was feeling and what I was looking at, and posted it. And that's all it really takes. That's what photographers do with their big cameras, but you can do it with your small camera you have in your pocket. And I didn't even have any pockets. I put it in my little breast pocket that I had on my workout
hand everywhere I go. Anyway, it's in my hand. It's in my pants.
And, now with this phone, I have a little hard drive I can plug into here. I can get additional 2 terabytes of storage on here. I can add other lenses to this thing. It's mind blowing what you can do with a cell phone now. It's on par with regular cameras. It really is.
Look, you can do any. I tell people all the time, I'll never forget 5 years ago, maybe now 6 years ago. So it was before COVID. So it was about 5 years ago. I saw at Photoville a story done by National Geographic, and a photographer in Nigeria did a whole story on his smartphone. And at that point, I realized the world will never be the same.
It's changed
with our smartphones. So there's a couple of headlines that are going on. I have to go here. I have to go there. Trump calls for the execution of Liz Cheney. Trump, let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her. Now, you know what's you would think that would be on the front page of every newspaper, every news media would be that would be this non-stop talked about all day today.
Biden said that. If Biden or Kamala Harris said that, they would have asked them to withdraw their candidacy, to investigated. All of the things. But because this man says it, I don't know why he is able to just get away with every little thing that he says. And he says it, and he knows he can say it and get away with it. And he'll just say, "Oh, I was just joking." Like, no, you're not, because what you're doing is you're giving someone permission to go and do that.
Yes.
That's what he is doing.
Hi, Elise.
Hi, how are you all?
It's so good. You know, we can't have a Friday without our Elise.
Look, I was listening to all the camera stuff. I was like, what's raw? What's all that other stuff Chris was just talking about? I don't know what raw is on my iPhone. That's what I use most of the time.
It's just it's a format that you can shoot in, which allow what. So let me just give you a brief definition. It preserves all the details in your photos so that you can go back on the back end and adjust them. So basically, it's kind of like having your camera in front of it the entire time while you're editing. Basically, it allows you to make those minute and major adjustments. So say, for instance, you're underexposed when you took the photo. You can go in and go into the shadows and turn it up, and it'll only touch the shadows. It won't touch anything else in the photograph. So anything that's like dark and shadow, it'll boost up the light a little bit. So, and you can do that with highlights. You can expose the brightness overall. You can just target it on little areas. It's just a format. So JPEG is, so JPEG is compressed. RAW allows you to edit the entire photo without losing any integrity of the photo.
Okay, I remember that. I'm going on my trip next week too.
You'll both be away.
I know.
I'm telling if anyone wants to be co-host next week, let me know. We got two weeks. Panel slots, and we got
Chris will be gone for 2 weeks.
Yes, Chris is 2 weeks.
Yeah, I get back.
And you're 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, I'm a little over a week.
Okay.
Not quite 2 weeks, but a little over a week.
I don't know how you can do Ghana without doing it for 3 weeks. When I'm in Ghana, they be like, Ron.
I'm looking forward to hearing about that on that trip.
Oh, yeah. I plan on being adventurous out there somewhere.
And if you happen to get I'm going to tell you how to run your trip. Here we go. Is that I don't know if you I have a dead phone. This is my travel phone. I have my travel phone and my regular phone. So this phone usually connects to Wi-Fi wherever I go. And if I need it in emergencies, it's there. So I have two phones. But this phone, because it's just my Wi-Fi phone, it's never on a signal, so it's not using a lot of battery.
Okay.
So you can take this phone and take lots of pictures and videos, and it will be in this phone, and then you can upload it into your, it'll be there. And then when you get to your hotel or wherever and you get Wi-Fi, then you can put it onto your Google or whatever, and it's in the cloud.
Ron,
yeah,
we are the same person.
Look, I'm not that fancy. I just have one.
Okay. So even if you use one phone, when you are out and about, take your phone and put it on airplane mode. So that way you're not using power and use it to photograph everywhere you go. And if you want to do some video, Gwendolyn likes to call it B-rolls. Get a little B-roll here, a little B-roll there, so that way you have it. Because you may not see the purpose now, but later on, as you begin to be more visible online and on YouTube and sharing your stories, you're gonna want those video clips and go back to them. So think I know I'm giving you instructions.
Let me get now you're teacher.
Now I'm the teacher. As you are traveling, take 30-second clips. You don't need to be long, just 30-second clips here, maximum 60 seconds, and just little clips. And then do your thing. And then when you get back to your hotel, then you do your stories. If you want to go online, share with the world, say, hey guys, I was here. Because I'm going to be tuning in. We will all be tuning in. So just let us know. Anyway, just let us know.
So back to Trump in this statement. Back to 45 in this statement.
45 and his.
And that's the thing. Like you come out and you, I think about one and hold Kamala responsible for Biden using garbage, and Trump. He's been using garbage the whole time, but you all hold him accountable for that. Now he says there should be some kind of law or something. There should be something out there, and every news media outlet should be talking about this. It should be in the paper. It should be in every place because it's
just like It's just like screaming fire in a movie theater. Like that's what it should be.
Right.
That level.
He's very specific.
Yeah.
How it should be done. It's like who does that and why they gotta do that?
It's like Joy Reid said yesterday. She said, "Now this is some sick sugar honey iced tea."
And she spelled it out.
See, I mean, this is some sick, crazy. I said I had to respond. I took Joy. I'm always reposting Joy stuff, and I said, "This is beyond sick."
And it's a death
people
threat.
wonder why we are where we are. Why we have to have lockdowns for people to vote.
And I don't know if you all have seen the clip where he has this campaign in the swing states.
Yes.
Where it says kill them all.
Yes.
And it says that it's approved. Oh, but it's not so bad because his son is in there somewhere. No, you all put all of those people in there and say kill them all. And it's crazy. It's insane that the media, and the complicity of media, the mass media, the major media outlets are just letting this stuff just go and go and go. And no one's saying this man is not qualified to be a president of anybody's country. And so when you have things like that,
let alone a company,
anything, nothing, dog catcher, or the driver of that garbage truck, none of that.
No one would put this no.
If a Democrat did any of this, if anyone on the Democrat side had done this, it would have been all over the world. Everything. But this man is not held to the same standard because billionaires are running these media outlets. And
there's one thing I want you to show. Remember, because it's Focus Friday, but I'm going to share this with you guys because I want you to go into the whole clip. You will learn something. Is educational. But these, I guess, gotta call it the way it is. These Christian nationalists, they make you want this. And I was online yesterday, and I saw one of my former, I guess, I would say students. When he was when I was a youth director. And he was talking about, I can't believe you're following the Democrats and with homosexuality and women and all this and all abortion and yada, yada, yada. Just total ignorance. Just total ignorance. Yet, I am sometimes I just sit there, I shake my head as a believer and watching these people in their conduct. But I have to share this one because this one, let me tell you, I'm going to get rid of Liz and this thing here. Let me just tell you where I want to go here. Hold on a second. Let me remove this. Stop sharing that. And we're going to go here. Sorry. But it is the insanity. We are in the world of bizarro. The bizarro. Guys, if you have not seen this, I found this. If you haven't, I mentioned him before on Focus Friday, but it's called The Defendant. Let me just get rid of this banner so we can see Elise. There we go. He's called The Defendant Lawyers. He's a part of a law firm. He and his daughter are lawyers in Georgia. Augustus Corbett, Esquire. And on this one, he's responding to how mega pastors manipulated blacks to support Trump. Man, here you go. Oops.
Who is a Louisiana-based televangelist, the son of Jimmy Swaggart. And he was really irate and upset with the black church, the so-called black church, because many of us who are a part of the so-called black church are not supporting Donald Trump. And for that, he thought we deserved a great big old rebuke. So I want to talk about Donnie Swaggart rebuking the black church for not supporting Donald Trump. Stay with me.
The tide of popular opinion in America, so much against it that by 1860, Americans were willing to vote for an anti-slavery president, setting off a chain of events that would lead to the Civil War and the freeing of the slaves. The point I'm trying to make in this, that it was the church that took the lead in speaking out against this horrible sin. But today, where are the pastors?
Of African-American people, literally. All right, so let's watch this video. Then I'm going to take you into this, and I'm going to show you that Donnie Swaggart was out of order. All right, stay with me. Let's go to this video.
But because evangelical Christians turned the tide of popular opinion in America, so much against it that by 1860, Americans were willing to vote for an anti-slavery president, setting off a chain of events that would lead to the Civil War and the freeing of the slaves. The point I'm trying to make in this, that it was the church that took the lead in speaking out against this horrible sin. But today, where are the pastors? Where are the preachers? Standing up behind the sacred desk and proclaiming.
All right, now, before we go any further, all right, Donnie Swaggart said it was the church, the evangelical church, that led the way to the abolishment of slavery. I would agree that the abolitionist movement consisted of a lot of clergy and Christians, men like Jonathan Edwards Jr. He was strongly against slavery. He opposed slavery very strongly. However, and here's the nuance, his father, Jonathan Edwards Sr., considered to be one of the greatest theologians of that day, was also a strong supporter of slavery. In fact, he owned slaves, as well as another contemporary of his, George Whitefield, who also was a famous preacher and white theologian. He too owned slaves. We also know that the three major church denominations of that day, white denominations, all supported slavery. In fact, the Baptist denomination split. The Southern Baptists, they wanted to support slavery, and the Northern Baptists did not. But the Southern Baptist denomination, the Southern Baptist Convention, is the largest church body in the world. And many of them today are huge, huge Trump supporters. The Presbyterian Church and the Methodist Church, back during slavery, all supported slavery. So I don't want you to get a distorted view here of white evangelicals. I don't want you to think that they were all abolitionists and were all against slavery. The opposite is true. Most white evangelicals during that day were in fact supportive of slavery. We are very grateful for the white abolitionists, the white Christians who knew that slavery was wrong and were willing to put their lives on the line and were willing to stand up. We owe them a debt of gratitude. Now, don't forget that a lot of what brought about the ending of slavery was also blacks rebelling against slavery. It's not like we just sat there and just were happy slaves and were okay with it. No, there were men like Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, and others who rose up and rebelled against slavery. In fact, there were so many rebellions that whites became afraid. All right, so that also contributed to the ending of slavery. And we can't forget the Haitian Revolution. You remember I did a video months ago talking about how the Haitians overthrew slavery in Haiti. They won a battle that consisted of many European nations.
Last year, we introduced the Juno for the first time, and it did so well.
So you have to go through it to see the rest of it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, you've seen it, Elise. It is, he lays it out so well. And but again, I was watching the tape. This came out also a couple of days ago with Danny, or whoever's name, Swagger, Jimmy Swaggart's son.
Right.
And you're seeing some of his black parishioners or whoever's in his church, say, screaming out, yelling, amen, and all that other stuff. And they don't realize that they're saying they can't be with this guy they can't be with Kamala because she's for women's rights, abortion, against, she's for abortion. But again, these people don't understand it's not just abortion. This is called women's health care.
Right.
And they paint these people, they paint the Democrats as evil. He goes in this preacher loses his mind, calls them the worst of the worst.
He's horrible.
Horrible.
Yeah.
But his father was horrible.
Yeah.
These people are white nationalists. They do not care about black people at all. And again, like you'll see Mr. Augustus will talk about in this video later on. He says they are talking about the black church. And he says, he brings up the point, there would be no black church if the white church was doing what they were supposed to be doing and loving people and loving the refugees, loving the people.
Right.
He goes into and breaks it down, but it's something to focus. This is Focus Friday, and I always want to give you accounts that will bless you, encourage you, and inspire you. This is one of those accounts that I think, because he's a lawyer, he's a pastor, and he has such a balanced tone when it comes to law and Bible and scripture. And I just thought it was really good and profound. I said, I got to share this. I got to share. I can go on. I mean, the whole thing is amazing. He breaks it down.
Yeah. And what's interesting about Swaggart's comments is he starts at, how they help, they fought to free against slavery, right?
Right.
He didn't talk about the fact that Christianity was used to enslave people.
Yes.
It was used to justify the enslavement of people.
Yes.
That organizations such as the Klan claim to be Christians, but they're racist.
Yes.
They're white supremacist groups. And their basis is on that part, how they use religion to enslave people. He's not going to talk about that. And then to have the audacity to tell black people what to do.
Yes.
And so to tell black pastors how to speak. You have some black pastors who don't take the same liberty that they do. They're like, we may lose our status, our tax status, if we speak out. But they don't hesitate. What are they doing? Are they for profit?
He's right.
But that's why I love some of the black pastors that I follow. Like okay, so no, that's not your business. You can't tell women what to do with their body. Vote for Harris. They don't have a problem with that. But these people are extremists. They're still doing the same thing, telling half of a story, not owning up to the atrocities and the racism. That man is a white supremacist. Yes. His father was a white supremacist. And when we try to label Christian, that's why a lot of young people, that's why people now are saying, I have a relationship with God and Jesus. I don't follow established religion.
Established religion. I mean, you look at like Whoopi Goldberg. She said, I believe in higher power, but I don't believe in what she says, organized religion. So anyway, I bring that point up because it's going to get wild for the next couple of days. We got 4 days before election, and it's getting crazier and crazier. I mean, I'm not surprised by anything that Trump says, but like someone mentioned early in one of my feeds on Facebook, it's not about, a lot of this is not about Trump. It's about us as a country.
It's not about Trump. It never has been.
The people that follow this guy, it is, I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what you believe in and all other stuff. But your moral compass has to say something is wrong. And if your moral compass is broken, or you have ignored your moral compass for so long that it becomes, like they're saying, it becomes callous. There's a callus that forms over your intuition, your sensitivity to others. It's not even about Christianity. It's not about Bible. It's not about any of that stuff. It's about what's right and what's wrong.
Right.
And we all are born with a little bit of, right and wrong.
Absolutely.
We know that kids know when they do something wrong. When they're in the courtyard, when they're in the sandbox, they know when they do something wrong.
Right.
You don't have to. I mean, we are intuitively know that something is off.
Right.
And I am these next 4 days. Lord, I can't imagine what I mean. It is going to get crazy,
and
but
it really is about the people. It really is about the people.
It's the people.
It's about understanding that there is a double standard.
Yes.
That as he says, he can be lawless, she has to be flawless.
Yes.
That's probably the best statement that I heard. And I kept trying to remember from that Black Man Summit what Michael Ealy said that I needed to remember. And I saw it again today. He said, I want you to look at these candidates and which one of them will pardon the person who killed George Floyd.
Yes. Yes.
But I want you to look at these candidates
and
ask yourself, which one of these ones, and Black folks who out here saying that, who were outraged during that time, and now are saying they're going to vote for this man. Any human that was outraged at that time and saying they're going to vote for this man, ask yourself, which one of these candidates, when they are elected, will pardon and free the man who killed George Floyd. That was one of the most powerful statements I heard in that that came from Michael Ealy when he was talking. I said, I said, you never think about what that would be like. And I'm sure he will. I'm sure he would if given the opportunity, because he wants police officers to have total immunity.
Here's something I want you guys to see that also, I think, again, remember, we're talking about, this is Focus Friday. So it's always about accounts that are going to bless you, encourage you, inspire you.
Yes.
And also because we're this is the last weekend of heading the road towards the election. Here's another one that was really, here we go. It's another Reverend Jamal Bryant. I love that. I love when ministers of the gospel truly teach biblical, moral principles. Here we go.
About what it is that it means. You're one of the most consequential figures for our generation in one of the most critical regions, and your voice is so necessary from that depth of experience that you have and wisdom to really speak it and to take it on. It ain't just in Duval, but it's happening. It's happening all over, and you've got to highlight it. And so I would encourage you to go on those spaces, because they not letting me and Angela come.
Well, because you brought up fentanyl, Pastor, I want to make this point about fentanyl, because that is something that the right actually does bring up consistently around fentanyl, and they try to link it with the immigration status. And so I just want to offer some information there. The largest known group of fentanyl smugglers is actually not made of immigrants crossing the border. They are Americans coming through legal ports of entry. So more than 80% of the people sentenced for fentanyl trafficking at the southern border are U.S. citizens, and that's according to U.S. federal data. Just so we're clear.
I'm quoting you Sunday.
Well, I have a question for you guys, because I want to stick with this theme of political violence. It's my assertion. I think we're focused on the Garden rally with all the racism. And it's like, were you guys not paying attention the past 10 years in the media landscape? It's nothing new. I just want to play some sound from one of his rallies in 2016. And this is all Nat sound that you will hear from attendees. And I'll try to talk through it for the people who can't see it. Nick, let's roll that clip.
You're making me leave, all right? Because I chose to be arrested. Fuck Islam. Fuck them. Get in here. Fuck Islam. God bless Donald Trump. Thank you for not taking the shirt off. I did. Fucking A, baby. What's your problem with Trump? The Constitution says that religion is a right to Muslim is not a religion, partner. It's an ideology. You don't come and talk about America. You're going to report Muslims. Good luck to you. Obama doesn't need it.
Tuesday, go to the polls and vote for Donald Trump. Our president has divided this country so bad.
Fuck that nigga.
There's a group out there, just throw them the hell out.
Get the fuck out.
Get out. Get out.
Get out of here, Paul.
Let it.
Send them bastards back. I'm sure that paperwork comes in Spanish.
Ignorance and immigrants, they mix together. Woo!
So that's from a rally in 2016. If you're listening and not watching, it was constant scenes of violence. If you didn't hear some of the things they were saying, they used the F word, rhymes with rag. They said F that nigger, referring to President Obama. So I just want to punctuate the point. What we're seeing is nothing new. We have this has been consistent with his rally. So it was very disconcerting to me to see the media handle Madison Square Garden with shock and awe when this is what has been consistent at Trump rallies since 2015. Again, this is from 2016, almost 8 years ago. So I just wonder what it is that feels different. And just curious, you guys' thoughts on the landscape. That's Angela, Andrew, and Pastor Bryant. Would love to hear from you.
So, I mean, did you guys, that footage says it all about a Trump rally.
Yeah.
This, I mean, again, like she's saying, Madison Square Garden, it was just another rally.
It was. He said it was a love fest, right?
It's a love fest.
A hatred. It's a love fest.
Anyway, I bring this up. I mean, there's a whole lots of stories going on in this clip. But again, this is called Church at a Crossroads. Jamal Bryant does talk about the church in here.
When I was 12 years old, my friends.
Make sure you go. I'm going to put that in the link as well, and you guys can see it. And it goes into the church, and it talks about Christians, and it talks about being on the right side of history. And but it's so necessary. And I'm just like, this is the last weekend.
Exactly. Jack.
And it's going to probably get really ugly. I can't believe it's Friday.
It's going to be ugly. And the thing is, it's funny because people talk about, they'll come to Kamala Harris's rallies and they'll disrupt a little bit and she'll say something, but she's never said take them out, right?
Yes.
They won't go to his rallies because they know what will happen. They know if they start yelling and screaming, somebody's going to drag them out. They're going to be attacked. There's going to be violence there. So they come to hers, and that's what's been happening. Like, and she'll say, "Hey, you have the right to protest, but right now I'm speaking." She doesn't say you can't speak, but right now I'm speaking. So you have to listen. But I think that he has, as Jazzy said in hers, media has normalized this.
Yes.
So they don't deal with it as this is not right. It's not normal. They don't hold him accountable. And I'll continue to go back to the reason they don't do it is because who owns media?
Yes.
That's why they don't do it, because everybody's sitting up there and on CNN and you're being all stoic. I couldn't be as stoic as some of those people. I don't care if you wrote that check, that'd probably be the last day you write a check for me.
Yes.
Because you want to say what I have to say. But that's our problem. And it's not normal. It's not a normal, as they said, some people have said, oh, they're treating this like it's a normal election. It's not. And he needs to be held accountable. And as Jazzy also said earlier, this man has been convicted of 34 felonies. And he just threatened somebody.
More on the way.
And he's just threatened somebody's life.
Yes.
And no one's talking about that fact. And no one's saying that this man.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but you're hitting it on the nose. This man just threatened someone's life. Right. He is technically out on parole.
I mean, he's not parole, but on on bail.
I mean, if he says something that's wrong, he can be put in jail.
Right. And so he's just nobody. So no one that the justice system is not holding them accountable for it. Somebody needs to just snatch him up. Don't right now you need, and I'm gonna say this, and it's not it may sound sexist on the side for women. You look at the ones who challenged him the most and been the most effective have been female lawyers.
All of them.
The ones that have held him accountable have been female.
Yes.
And everybody keeps talking about what women can't do. There have been women across this world who have effectively run countries. Effectively done a great job. Until they decided they were done with their job. They made a decision.
And not third world countries. We're talking about major countries, Germany, Australia, and the list goes on.
Right. And so
Mexico.
Right. Mexico just elected a woman.
Yes.
So he's out on his probation. He's making threats, and that out of his mouth. He can't claim somebody else said that he didn't know. He didn't know. He knew because he said it.
Yes.
And it was a threat. And every Republican or every human hearing that, who has not voted, should go out and vote Kamala Harris and all the Democrats up and down the ballots. Just because we want a country where that's not the norm.
Yes, we want.
We don't need that as our norm.
Can we just have our sanity back? I mean, I'm hoping, and this is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping, and I'm feeling really good about Kamala. Kamala wins on Tuesday. November 8th is Trump's sentencing, and they lock him up.
Yeah, finally.
Finally, put him off the stage, put him in a jail cell, and let him stay there forever.
Absolutely.
No, I mean, the only reason why he's running is to stay out of jail. And there's no reason when this man loses the race on Tuesday for him to be out on the streets. Right. There'll be no more saying they're trying to prevent him from winning an election. They're trying to, interfere with elections. They will finally come to the place they say, we're going to finally lock him up. And yes, it may cause unrest. But guess what? A little unrest, but once the unrest settles, he'll be gone off the scene and they will move on because their leader is gone.
We can pray for that. I actually have to jump off. So
buddy.
I will see everyone in 2 weeks. Love you all.
All right, enjoy.
Great
Chris.
show.
Bye, Chris.
Have a great trip, Elise.
Oh, I am. I'm looking forward to it.
Man.
I find
you guys.
We'll be talking. Okay.
All right. Bye.
So Ron, one of the key things is that it continues to be consistent with every accusation they make toward the Democrats is something they've done. They were the ones that tried to interfere in the last election. People going to jail. A woman getting sentenced now. They're going to prison for this.
In Wisconsin.
Felony charges. They're going to the one in Arizona. The felony charges that they got because they were trying to interfere with elections.
Yes.
That was they Democrats didn't do that. They did it. Every accusation is them. They're the ones that's doing it now. Like my husband, I think my husband was talking about this man who they had a video of him interfering with people's ballots.
Yes.
He's working at the polls.
Yes.
So you got them trying to do it. And then you already have the ones like the 3 he named down in Georgia who wants to say they're not going to ratify the election in the state of Georgia because it's 3-5. I was like, I'm sure Kemp intentionally did that, but they already have these people that are in places, and that's what they're saying. Oh, we got our people. They have consistently interfered with the election process.
Yes.
And so that's the problem. That's the problem that we have. And as you said before, we have to understand that this is about the people.
Yes.
And what people need to be is looking at themselves and say, I have made a choice. I have aligned myself with a person who is racist, misogynistic, who is a convicted criminal, who has been found liable for sexually assaulting a woman and have multiple charges out there from other women who have done all these things and lies constantly.
Like a water on a water coming down
lies
the waterfall.
constantly. So when you look at yourself in the mirror, that's who you are.
That's who you are.
You are
you
what you vote
are.
for. You vote for what you are. So if that's what you, that's even if you're a woman, I don't care what you say. If you identify with that and you sit there and accept that, you are complicit and a part of this, and that's who you are.
Yeah, that's
I don't care who you are. And that's what we have to say about that. And that's why I say I don't try to focus on any one thing. There are multiple things that we need to make sure we're secure about. Number one is our freedom of speech. And they always talk about people and their freedom of speech, and they're the ones that present.
Yes, they always, again, like Brian said, projection is confession.
Right.
They're always projecting who they are.
Like Elon Musk. Elon Musk wants to suppress people even on his site. The ones that aren't saying what he wants them to say. First, he's like, it's going to be freedom of speech, but not only if you speak what he wants to hear. And then the other side, well, if they have protesters, anyone who speaks out against me, if I'm elected, I'm going to have them arrested. That's freedom of speech. Yeah, that's who they are. Everything they say, that's who they are.
Hard to keep a friend who votes that way. I told people, if I know that you are a Trumpster, I will never trust you. I will never. I know they say, Ron, that's extreme, but it tells me something about your moral character. Your moral character, your moral compass is broken. And that means you have the ability to betray me as a person. What I mean, when the choice comes between Trump and me, you're going to pick Trump.
Right. And that's the thing, like that. And that's the exact argument, is that everything this man says is damaging to me and my family and to you as whoever this person is. If you're a billionaire, it's damaging to you. And if you vote that way, you are voting against me. So I have a friend of 30 years. I haven't spoken to her in months because she talked crazy. But the first was Robert F. Kennedy, and now I don't know what she's doing. But I was like, when she started talking crazy, I don't have anything to say. And I know people like, oh, you shouldn't let this get in between you and friends and family. No, it's not about friends and families. It's about me. It's about my life. It's about my granddaughter's life. It's about all the young people in this country. And a young woman in this country has less rights than I've had most of my life.
Yes.
Most of my life, I've had rights that they don't.
That your daughters don't have. The daughters and granddaughters today do not have less. They have less rights
than I had in my childbearing years, right? And they don't think about all of this stuff. Trust matters. All that stuff matters. And so my thing right now is that if I can't trust you, and it doesn't matter if you tell me I voted out. No, I told my nephew and his wife in Texas. I've been texting them all week. Now I finally made it a group text. I was like, so I need y'all to vote. And they're like, we vote tomorrow. So I texted them first thing this morning, did you vote yesterday? Because you said you were voting yesterday. And I need y'all to vote for every Democrat on that Texas ballot.
Yes, right.
Everyone of them. I said, I'm not hiding. I'm not saying, oh, vote for who you want. No, because I don't want who you want to kill your children. And they have 2 daughters and 2 granddaughters.
I don't understand how you can have daughters and vote for Trump. I just don't understand.
Well, they're not voting for Trump, but they got 2 daughters and 2 granddaughters. And my thing is, if I can't trust you to protect me, because this is about you not protecting me. And I can't, you don't even protect you voting against yourself. They voted again, and the stuff that comes out of their mouth. I mean, Vance
is crazy. It's
ridiculous.
But this weekend, prepare for something. And I'm sure there'll be something crazier today and crazier tomorrow, because Trump is interested in nothing but trying sensationalism and just he wants his name, rather all the negative stuff to take the publicity, or I should say, take the headlines away from Kamala.
And so, and what we do, if we just post that and let it sit, we're helping him.
Yeah,
I'm not helping. I told you all months ago I wasn't helping any of that.
Yes,
I told you, and I have remained committed to that. If I post something that's go vote, I'll post those Lincoln Project ads in my stories. I'll post stuff about Kamala Harris and all that. I'm not posting something that gives them power. Yeah, I know this, Anthony. That's why I texted them this morning, because I knew it was the last day of early voting in Texas, and if they hadn't been out there, they were going to hear it from this auntie right here. They won't get phone calls at their job. It's like,
also, this is the last week. This is right. Today's the last day for Georgia.
Right.
Today's
Georgia,
the last day
Texas,
for Georgia.
Some of them go all the way up to the election day.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is
last day in Georgia. So get out and vote. Everyone in Georgia, get out and get that early vote in.
And Atlanta needs to show up, and we don't want to hear them complaining about them in a long line because you waited till Tuesday.
Yes.
And you wanted to be in that long line. Unless you just want to be in a long line, that's on you. But if you have the opportunity to still vote early, get out there and vote early. Atlanta, get up and vote. Because you all are what helped everything the last time. We need you all now. Detroit, we need Detroit to get up and vote. Those 277 voters that from Detroit that didn't vote the last time, we need them voting. The 600,000 in Louisiana that didn't vote the last time, black folks, we need y'all voting.
Yes.
We need them voting.
Vote.
We need y'all to get up and vote.
We're going to have a great weekend. Elise, thank you for joining me, taking me to the end of the show.
Yes.
End of our time together. Guys, get out there. This is our last weekend to support the Kamala Harris ticket. We have until Tuesday, but this weekend is crucial. I'm saying, it's like someone said yesterday on one of the shows. They said there's a lot of negativity online about Kamala, but what they're excited about is that anytime something positive is said about Kamala, it goes into what's called the flood zone. Flood the zone with everything about the blue ticket, whether it be in Texas, the senators, the Congress people, anything about positivity. Keep reposting. People say, Ron, you repost a lot. I'll be reposting everything that's out there that's good. I keep reposting it.
Right.
Repost.
We need that senator to win in Montana. We need all these things to happen. We need all, and I'm waiting for the surprise out of Florida. I'm waiting for because that village down there with those senior citizens who really vote.
I think Florida's going to go blue. I think Florida is going to go blue.
I'm waiting for Florida to surprise the world.
I think Florida is going to go blue. Now, I don't know why. I feel like
I'm waiting.
Florida's going to go blue, and I think there's going to be some states that we didn't expect are going to go blue.
I'm just like Jazzy said, everybody in every state that's registered to vote needs to get out and vote because we need all hands on deck. Over 100 million that hasn't voted yet. We need all 100 million up. Get out there and vote.
Michelle Obama says, do something.
Right. And her husband said, don't boo, vote.
Don't boo, vote.
Vote blue. Vote Democrat. For those who don't understand what blue means, because somebody brought that up, it means to vote Democrat.
Yes. And the Senate races are crucial. The House is crucial.
The House too as well. We need those houses in California and New York.
And the time the time goes backwards this weekend, Saturday night. So it'll be dark early, y'all. It'll be dark early. We're in my, I don't want to say it, the sad time of the year, but I like light. I like being in the light. Okay. Let
me say something real quick. Just one thing I heard yesterday. And my husband said this. If you are a woman out there and you have a state that has an abortion thing on the ballot, and you vote so that your state will have that right, and then you turn around and vote for all Republicans, you just canceled that vote.
Yes, right.
You just canceled that out.
No split tickets.
You can't vote for having a right and then vote for the people who are going to take your rights away.
Yes.
You can't do that at the same time. Those two things can't coexist. Just wanted to say that.
Yeah, a double.
In Maryland, we need Asa Brooks in Maryland.
As double minding, double talking, double anything it doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Cancel it out.
All the way down the ballot, Democrat. Make it very clear. Okay, guys.
All right.
Love you all, and we'll see each other on Monday. And so have a great weekend.
Down the road.
Be safe and have a safe trip, Elise, and have so much fun. I ain't gotta tell you, you're gonna be there. When you see the art just have a good time. I know you are.
Definitely.
Be safe. I'm praying for you.
All right.
And we're all praying that you have a safe trip and that you just come back refreshed and full of energy and clear mind and clear conscience. And yes, you'll be away when the election's going. So,
yes, I will. And I won't be watching it.
That's right. My neighbors, they packed their bag. I can't say my neighbors packed their bags and they're out of here. They were like, Ron, we voted and we're gone.
Yeah, vote and go. All right.
Okay, guys, safe travels. Love you all. And what we're going to do, focus on what matters. See you next week.